So the New York City subway is back in the news again. This time, nobody helps a woman. It was just Sunday, the 22nd. A 48-year-old man was going to brunch. He was on the Q train going over the Manhattan Bridge, and a man just shot him like that in his chest, killed him. The man ran off the train, handed the gun to a homeless person. Homeless person sold the gun, I think, for like $10. It sounds crazy, right? But this was what's going on. They called that guy, I think 1 or 2 days later. They were able to catch him, the police. So the reason I'm mentioning this is because with this crazy stuff that's going on, right? Guy going to brunch, and the only reason he was in that train is because he said that Uber, um, Uber has this policy whereby they would raise the price. It wouldn't be regular. What's the term they use? So anyway, it was too much to go into Manhattan, right? By Uber. Uber decided they're going to escalate that price. And so he decided, well, wait a minute, this is too much. I'm going to brunch with my, I think, friends on Sunday. And Uber wants too much money. So he decides to take the train. Unfortunately, that cost him his life. Imagine that. Sad story. So New York City subway riders failed to intervene as woman pleads for help in attack. So, you just heard the story of the man who was minding his business, going to brunch. Uber, had this accelerated charge. It was too much just going to Manhattan. Because he lives in Park Slope. Park Slope is not that far. It's just a few stops into Manhattan. And Uber wanted a ridiculous rate that cost this man his life. See? Now, if you're rich, it doesn't matter, right? If you're really, really rich, it doesn't matter where you're going. You probably have your own limousine. So, people are much more apprehensive. Yeah, they're much more apprehensive to help anybody. So with Uber, yeah, the word that they use is surge, S-U-R-G-E, surge pricing. At certain times, the price would go up, and I don't even think those make any sense. One time I was going to a funeral, dressed up and everything, and it wasn't Uber, it was Lyft. They wanted something like, I think like $95 to go there. And I said, no, this is too much. I took the train. It cost me $2.75 in the train, but I had to take 2 different trains to get there. Then I had to walk through. I think it was snow at the time. It was in January. And it took me nearly the same time as Lyft would take me. So, let's see the story here. I guess this is the woman. Right? Screenshot 527. Right? So this was Friday this happened. Today is Saturday. This was yesterday. There's the woman there. A video has emerged of a woman on the New York City subway pleading for help as a man assaults her while other riders ignore her. The video first began spreading on Wednesday after the Daily Dot published a story about the incident. In the footage, a man in a white hoodie stalks through a subway car screaming expletives and sits down in his seat. Other passengers near the man slide away after he sits down. One woman, who the man sat directly next to, tries to leave. Wow, it sounds like, the kind of crazy stuff you see in these films. She tries to leave, but he reaches up and grabs her hair and yanks her back down into the seat next to him. The woman immediately appears distraught and begins begging others to help her, crying out for help. Wow. A few moments pass before the man screams at the woman to get up and shoves her to another part of the train. He then walks away and continues screaming and moving erratically through the cabin. At one point, the man steps onto a seat inside the car and kicks in the window of the train while it is still in motion. Wow. When the train stopped, the man exited and disappeared into a crowd of people. See? It's a lot of mentally ill people out there. Yeah. Mentally ill people. So the New York City Police Department issued a statement saying it was aware of the attack and it was investigating the situation, but noted no formal reports had been filed. You know, this is sad, but it's kind of amusing in a way, because in New York City, I don't know, for anybody who's been here, we have some of the toughest women who cuss, you know, I don't know, it's like, wow. It's like some of these women in public, they can't have a regular conversation. They have to be using profanity and so forth. You know, like they just came off for, like what you were saying, the old days, the sailor comes off the ship, that kind of stereotype, using all kind of language. Well, unfortunately, you have women like that here. So it's like, okay, women here in New York City seem to be tough, so why you need help? A man is grabbing onto you, just cuss him out. That's all. Cuss him out. Because the average or typical woman here, that's what she'll do. She ain't gonna all of a sudden go back in the mode of being a little girl who needs help from her daddy. No. She's gonna cuss that SOB out, or that MF, like they say. Yeah, she's going to cuss him out. So, what happens now? He sits next to her, well, cuss him out or grab him, tussle with him, knock him to the ground. But she wants other people to get involved. Are you ready to get involved? And a few hours later, your body is cold in the morgue, in the New York City morgue? Because there's a possibility that can happen. You trying to help a stranger, somebody you don't even know. It's not like it's somebody you know, an old lady who lives down the block from you or in your building. You're trying to help. You're trying to help this complete stranger, and under any other circumstances, this same woman probably wouldn't give hoots about you. If something happened to you. And so this is why some people don't want to get involved. Because we got some of the toughest women here. It's not like in some of the countries where women are women and, women are much more mild-mannered. And when they use the language in public, it's respectful. That's not how it is here. Not at all. So good luck. If you're on a train, you're from New York City, and something happens, hey, what can I tell you? Cuss the SOB out. That's all.